Now we're going to leave Rathgar Test Centre and we're turning to the right. Be careful of cyclists and pedestrians. Be aware of the footpath. Creep out very slowly, looking equally both ways. Now it's not uncommon to be sitting here for quite a while, so we're just going to wait. Again, don't feel under pressure. Everything's fine. Now we're going to make our way out. Okay, so we're going to pass these parked cars. We're moving on to these markings. So main mirror, signal right. As it gets tighter, we get slower. The speed limit in the whole area around Rathgar is 50 kilometers per hour. So as we look ahead, we can see there's a red light. So we can plan our stop nicely. We're going to be checking our centre mirror, slowing softly, back to second if you wish. And we're stopping so we can see the wheels of the car in front. Don't need the handbrake here because the traffic are moving. So all three mirrors moving off. Approaching a junction, the light is green, so we have to check the side roads. Keep an eye on the cyclist and the car. And just build up the speed again. Okay, so we're going right at the lights in Rathgar village. So middle and right mirror and signal to the right. And position our car to the just left of centre. Back down to second because the traffic continues to flow. The light is green, but again we proceed with caution. So we're looking, viewing the junction, proceeding through. And when we're passing these parked vehicles, we allow enough room. Okay, we have a hazard, so we're slowing, and we're going to stop on this occasion. Now, that's fine, three mirrors, and away we go again. A bus lane on our left, so be certain to keep the bus lane clear. Another vehicle doing a U-turn ahead, so we slow down softly. The hazard is now gone, so we can proceed and get up to speed again. Always looking down the road, planning ahead. Occasionally, every 10 to 15 seconds, checking the centre mirror. Again, the traffic ahead have stopped, so we're going to be slowing, so we check our centre mirror before braking. I'm coming back to third. Checking the centre mirror again, back to second. And stopping once again so we can see the wheels of the vehicle in front. We're going to be here for a couple of seconds, so we'll pull up our handbrake and we'll go into neutral as we're not first in queue. Okay, the traffic are starting to move, so into gear, handbrake down, three mirrors moving forward. Building up speed gently, and we're turning right at these lights, so middle and right mirror and signal right. Positioning. So, light's changing, so we'll stop softly. Now we're first in queue on this occasion, so we pull up our handbrake. Difference is we stay in first gear when we're first in queue. Okay, so you can see that we've stopped before the brown area behind the white line. Do not stop on the brown area, it's for cyclists to wait. We're coming into an area now where it goes from a two-way system into a one-way system and the road gets a little bit narrow and you'll have to centre your car between two sets of parked cars. Okay, so we're heading towards Rathmines. We can expect a little bit of traffic, but nothing too dangerous. Now, three mirrors moving forward. We're moving out to the centre of the junction. You may notice a yellow box. We can stop on a yellow box if we're turning right. It's the exception to the rule. I'm going to pull my handbrake up because I'm going to be here for a few seconds. We're looking at the junction all around. We see the gap coming. If we can walk the gap, we can drive the gap. So look into the turn, and we turn across. Now we've got some parked vehicles on the left here. We're going to cross the centre of the road, so we're going to check our mirrors, middle and right, and signal right. So ramps ahead, so we generally take a ramp in second gear. Now here we are into the little one-way system. We have to centre our car in the middle of the road between both sets of parked cars in case a car door was to open. If you cannot leave enough room to allow a car door to open, then you should travel at a speed at which if a car door does open, you can just simply stop. Again, we're coming to another ramp, so just easing off, staying in second gear. Now we're coming to a junction up here which is a little bit unusual. because traffic on our right have to give way to us at this particular junction, which is fairly unique. So we're stopping so we can see the wheels. We're coming into Rathmines village now, and then we're going to turn right and then left towards Cowper Downs, which is a housing estate that the examiners use to do the turnabout. Okay, we're on a junction of Vernon Grove, heading towards into Rathmines village. This particular turn here is a stop sign, but you will find you're on a ramp as well. Now, there's a distinct danger of rolling back off this ramp, so we should consider this an exercise, nice amount of caution. So I pulled my handbrake up again. We're just going to sit now and wait in first gear because we see the traffic ahead are starting to move slowly. So now we must obey the stop line. If we go past the stop line without stopping, you will fail. Now, we do not have a very good view to the left and right. There's parked cars on our right. So when it looks clear, we're going to move our car out, looking equally both ways. Keep looking both ways, and then we're turning. And now we're turning left, so middle and left mirror. Turning left onto Cowper Road. Now we have more ramps. They don't go fully across the road, but don't try and avoid them. Keep your positioning normal on the road, and if it means going over the ramp, just go over the ramp. Now we're turning left into Cowper Downs next. So middle and left mirror. Now pedestrian, so we're going to stop here because pedestrian always has right of way. And we're turning. And we're turning right, so middle and right mirror. Now we cannot see as we approach the junction, so we come to a stop. Keep looking equally both sides, and then make your turn when safe. So we're now in Cowper Downs, which is a very common place for examiners to use for doing turnabouts. So we're going to look for a place to pull in, cyclists, so we're going to slow. We're turning left here now. And we're going to pull over beside the curb on the left, just along here. So middle and left mirror, signal goes on, slowing, stopping, handbrake and neutral, and cancel your signal. Okay, so we're in Cowper Downs. We're going to do a turnabout. Contrary to belief, you do not have to do this manoeuvre in 3 manoeuvres. The only requirement is that you turn the vehicle around between the 2 curbs without touching in a safe fashion. The examiner will be watching for your observation and your competency while doing this manoeuvre. So we're going to start the manoeuvre now. So we're going to go into gear, look on our mirrors from left to right, signal goes on, check your blind spot, and if it's safe we move across the road, moving slowly, turning quickly. We can use the clutch as much as we like on this manoeuvre. And as we look down below our mirror, we can see the curb, and we start to straighten out our steering wheel. And we stop. Now, the handbrake is optional. If you feel that you want to pull the handbrake up, that's fine, okay? So we go into reverse, we look up and down the road for traffic, and then through the back window. And we start reversing back, move slowly, turn the wheel quickly. When you're halfway across the road, look over your right shoulder through your back passenger window, and you will see the curb. Where your door ends is where your back wheel is, so get your back door up close to the curb, and we start to straighten as we get close. And we stop. Again, handbrake if you wish. And then we're going to go into first gear, looking up and down the road, and then moving again slowly, and turning the wheel quickly. And then at the end of the manoeuvre, the examiner will generally ask you to pull in on the left and stop. So we'll just indicate left, select a safe place to stop, and stop nice and calmly. Once you've stopped, handbrake, neutral, cancel your indicator, and then await further instructions from the examiner. Now, as you can see here, I've parked in between the 2 houses so as not to block the driveways. So we are going to be moving off now again, so mirrors from left to right, signal, blind spot, and we're moving away and safe. and we're turning right. We have a vehicle on our left which is doing some manoeuvring as well, so just keep an eye on those. And then we proceed round the turn when safe. So again, we're still in Cowper Downs. We're going to be leaving Cowper Downs now. So we're going to be turning left up here, so it's middle and left mirror, and signal to the left. Now there can be parked cars here, so we're going to slow down, go into first gear, look round the cars and then move round safely. And then we're turning left onto Cowper Road, so mirrors and signal. Keep an eye on the vehicle on the right. Take up a nice tight position to the left. Can't see what's coming, so we're going to stop. And then when it's safe, keep looking both ways and then proceed. Now we're on Cowper Road. Again, ramps in second gear. Now we have the road narrowing ahead, so we're going to go slow. Nice and slow and steady. And then proceed through. More ramps. Again, just stay in second gear. And we're going to be making a right turn onto Palmerston Road. So at the lights here we're turning right. So middle and right mirror, signal right. And we position our vehicle just left of centre. The light's gone green, so the first car should now move to the centre of the junction. All other cars should stay behind the line. Now the junction is free for me to move into. The light is still green, so we move in. We look both sides, and when safe we proceed through our turn. So we're on Palmerston Road now. Now there's a reverse around the corner on the left hand side just up here. So again, the examiner will normally stop you in advance of the turn. Now however, there is cars parked just blocking us from pulling in, so we're just going to go past the turn and pull in on the left and stop just in the parking area on the left hand side. So once again, the examiner will normally, if they have the option, they will stop you in advance of the corner and then they will tell you what they want you to do. If they can't park before the corner, they'll just tell you to pull up past the corner and pull in. Okay, so again, it looks clear, so we'll take another lighthouse look. And it's all safe, so through the back window and then to the left mirror and start reversing towards the corner. Keep your speed nice and slow. There's no rush on this manoeuvre. Now we're about to start turning in. So before we start turning in, you have to check your right shoulder because the nose of your car will move out towards the centre of the road, so we have to make certain it's safe. So look into the road again and into the mirror. Now another little check of the blind spot here. Okay, the road we're going into is clear, nothing behind, nothing from the right. The curb is in view in the mirror. Now we're just going to reverse back straight up. Vehicle coming, so we pause, and then we continue back. And to finish up within 18 inches roughly of the curb, but don't worry if you're a little bit further out, because your observation and your manoeuvring skill is what's being tested here. So don't worry too much. And we'll stop here. Handbrake, neutral, and relax. That's the reverse around the corner. So now, we've just finished our reverse around the corner into Temple Gardens, so we're going to move off. So we're going to go mirrors left to right, signal on, check our blind spot, and move away, and then we're turning left onto Palmerston Road, so middle left mirror. Bit of a closed off view, so we're going to slow down, creep out to get a view past the parked vehicles, and then proceed. And then advance up your gears. Build your speed nicely. Speed limit's 50 kilometers per hour. And then we're turning right at the stop sign. So main mirror, right mirror, signal is on, positioning just towards the centre of the road. And there's a white line here with the stop sign, so we're going to stop completely. Now into first gear and start creeping forward. Watch the railings in front of you. Don't get too close to the railings. And build our speed. Now we have a pedestrian on our left hand side walking down towards us, so we're just going to pop our indicator on, so mirrors, signal, give them lots of clearance, cancel the signal, and then build your speed again. Now we're taking a left at the traffic lights up here, so main mirror, left mirror, signal goes on to the left, coming back down to second on the approach. Now we have a flashing amber filter arrow, which is the equivalent to a yield. So we take up our position, keep nice and tight, looking both ways, and we're turned left onto Dartry Road. Positioning our vehicle nicely towards the left side of the road and just maintaining our progression. Now at the traffic lights we're turning left, so main mirror, left mirror, down to second gear on the approach. This is a left turn onto Temple Road. Make sure to check the junction as you're turning, and then we're going to pull into the parking area on the left hand side, just beside the curb between the two trees. So main mirror, left mirror, signal is on, slowing softly, clutch in, stopping nicely, handbrake, then neutral, then cancel your signal. Okay, so in front of us we have another reverse around the corner. Now the examiner may ask you to stop after the road, before the ramp or after the ramp. That's totally okay. So whatever the examiner asks you to do, that's what you will do on your test. So I'm going to move off. So mirrors, signal is on, blind spot is checked, all clear, so we're going to move forward. We cancel our signal, and when you're halfway past the road, mirrors signal to the left. So we're just going to go past the ramp. We're going to stop nicely here. Okay. Handbrake, neutral, cancel signal. Now, so same procedures again. We're going to be reversing around this corner. So we go into reverse, look around our mirrors, do our lighthouse look, 360 degrees. Nothing coming, so we start reversing towards the corner. Nice and steady. Be on the lookout for traffic coming up from behind, or indeed coming out of the road that we're reversing into. Pedestrians are also a factor at all times. Nothing coming. Now we're about to start turning in, so we're going to pause, check our blind spot as the front of our car will start moving into the centre of the road. We want to make sure that it's safe, and start turning in. Checking to the right again, looking into the road at the back occasionally, keep viewing the curb in the mirror. Looking right again, and here's the curb nicely in view. Get straight with the curb, little glance right again, and continue back parallel to the curb, somewhere within 18 inches if possible. And stop then, when the examiner asks you. So we'll stop here. Handbrake on, into neutral, and that completes your reverse around the corner. So we're going to move off now. So we check all three mirrors, signal to the right, check our blind spot and move away. And we're going right. So main mirror, right mirror, car moving on the left hand side, so we wait. Keep looking both sides. Our view is slightly blocked, and there's a car coming from the left. So we're just going to hold in this position. Just holding on the clutch here for a moment because we're going to be moving again quite quickly. Keep looking, right and left and right. And then we're turning left back onto Dartry Road. So main mirror, left mirror. Quite a dangerous junction this. There's a bend on your right hand side and it's very hard to see traffic, and there's a flashing amber arrow which means yield. So come up softly, go to first, keep looking, and then move out safely. And then build your speed. Up your gears now, as far as third. Again, we have a green light, so we have to check our junction. Quick glance, everything's fine, so we proceed through. Now this bend, we would need to be back down in third gear. Nice and slow for this bend. And we're coming down the hill now. South hill on our left, and we're turning right at the traffic lights, please. So we're going to be going middle and right mirror, signal to the right, position. Now there's a car park on the right, so we will cancel our signal. Now we've changed the position. We come down our gears, past the car park, and we'll signal again. The light has changed, so we are slowing down and stopping just before the line. Dropping Well Pub is on our right hand side. Now we stay in first gear because we're first in queue. The handbrake is applied. When the light goes to green, we move to the centre of the junction in line with our turn. So we go into first gear, move to the centre, look ahead, traffic seems to be clear, So we're going to make our turn. Always turn at a nice right angle into your road. Driving up the hill. This hill can be used for hill starts. And we're going to take a left just at the top of the hill after the bus stop. Some mirrors, signal. We're going into Churchtown Drive. And then we're going to turn left again. Some mirrors, middle and left, and signal left. Into Churchtown Close. And we're going to pull over beside the curb on the left along here. So we stop calmly. Handbrake goes on. We go into neutral and we cancel our signal. And then we await further instructions from the examiner. So, okay, this turnabout, the road is an awful lot narrower. We have a lot less space. Now, generally, when a turnabout is in a narrower road, we need a lot more time to steer. So our speed must be very, very slow, okay? Also, on our left-hand side, where I've had to pull in, there's a lamppost. So that means we won't have as much space within the road as we would have if the lamppost wasn't present, because we're worried about the bodywork of the car touching off the lamppost. So it's worth considering. The narrower the road, the slower you need to go, the more precise you need to be. I would not anticipate doing this manoeuvre in 3 manoeuvres here. Again, it is a turnabout, it doesn't need to be done in 3. I would take 5 manoeuvres to do this manoeuvre here. Okay, so mirrors, signal, blind spot as before. Move slowly, very slowly. Turn the wheel very quickly. Now we're getting quite close to the curb. I'm looking down below my driver's mirror and I'm straightening the wheel up and I'm stopping. Now, I am very aware now of the presence of the lamppost behind me, so we're going to be stopping quite short of the lamppost to avoid any small accidents. Okay, so look up and down the road and through the back window. Move slowly, turn quickly. Now switch to the right shoulder, but now the lamppost is still present, so we'll have to look back to our left shoulder, check our distance from the lamppost. And I think that's fine. I don't think we're going to go any further. Again, look up and down for traffic, go into first gear, moving slowly forward. We can take our time. Sometimes it's very easy to get pressured in this situation. Don't get pressured. Take your time. The examiner is more than happy to allow you the time required to do the manoeuvre. Now look up and down the road again, and then through the back window. Move slow, turn quick. Now the lamppost is no longer a factor. Looking over the right shoulder to see where the curb is, and stopping. So that's 4 manoeuvres. So we're looking up and down the road again, and this is our 5th manoeuvre. And I'm just going to pull up past this silver car on the left hand side. So to recap, the narrower roads require slower speed, more control of your vehicle. Do not be anxious. Take your time. Do the manoeuvre the way that you would like to do it yourself. Do not feel under pressure. The examiners can see that the road is narrow, so just take your time and you'll have no problem doing the manoeuvre. And remember, you can take as many turns as you wish. So now we're moving off. We're leaving Churchtown Close, turning right onto Churchtown Drive. Some mirrors, signal. Approach with caution. Make sure you're viewing the junction equally in both ways, and when it's safe, just proceed. Take an extra look to the left just as you're coming out. Now we're going to go left at the end of the road, which is onto Lower Churchtown Road. So make sure to stop fully at the stop sign. And come to a stop, look equally, and we have a cyclist on our left hand side. So we wait, look both ways equally, and when safe, we'll just proceed gently. That's fine now, and we're going to go up to the speed limit, which is 50 kilometers per hour. Building our speed nice and gently. Perfect opportunity to get into 4th gear along here. Show the examiner that you're making progress. Nice clear road for the moment. And we see some parked vehicles on the left hand side. So we're going to check our mirrors, signal, beware of the car door width, and proceed again. Now we're approaching a bend, and on this bend on the left hand side we have a Lewis station, so be aware of buses and pedestrians and cars. Keep to the left on the bend as well. People get caught out driving too near the white line on this bend all the time. And further ahead we have a set of traffic lights. Now at the traffic lights we're going to take a right, and just before the traffic lights we have a yellow box and a keep clear marking, so be careful not to stop on either of those markings. There's room for one vehicle after the keep clear if the light is red. So we're approaching, so it's going to be mirrors, signal to the right. Be aware of the vehicle on the left. Stop just after the keep clear marking. And now we wait for the light to change to green. Okay, so when the light goes to green, we're going to move out to the centre of the junction and wait for a gap in the traffic. So handbrake is applied, we're sitting in first gear. Just take a view into the junction occasionally as well to make certain there's no issue. So we're moving out to the centre. Okay, we see a car coming round the bend, so we're uncertain as to whether it's safe, so we'll just hold still. We're looking for a gap which would be equal to the space you would require to walk across. Now look into the turn and turn. Now you'll see some parked vehicles on the left hand side here. Now we may have to cross the white line, so we're going to go mirrors, signal, and move beyond the line. And be certain to leave enough room for a car door to open, and if there are oncoming vehicles, just hold back and let them come through. So just keep proceeding. We see a vehicle coming the other way, so we're just going to go a little bit slower. Be certain of your car door width. Move round. Okay, and then once you're clear of the parked vehicles, we see a sign on the left saying dangerous left bend, so just keep going nice and calmly. And now we're coming up to another bend, and it has a chevron board directing you of the change of direction towards the left side. And we're going to proceed again, and then further ahead on the left hand side we're going to take a left turn which is into Eaton Bray, so we'll deal with these parked cars first. So mirrors, signal, nothing coming toward us, so we have our car door width, and then mirrors, signal left because we're going to be turning left into Eaton Bray. Check your mirrors on the approach, your middle and your left mirror. Slow down, be aware of the car coming out, nice and tight. Move around the parked car, giving car door width. This is a pretty busy area now for Turnabout, so expect to see other vehicles, and try not to get in their way if the examiners are here. And we're going to pull in on the left hand side, and we're going to stop. So once we've stopped, we're going to pull on the handbrake, go into neutral, and relax. Okay, so this is Eaton Bray. It's just off Orwell Road. Okay, now this road in particular tends to be quite busy for traffic, so you want to make certain that you're always on your guard. For some reason or another, traffic don't seem to slow down very much when they see us doing this. So you be very vigilant and observant, and make certain to give right of way to other drivers as they are just travelling straight. So we're going mirrors from left to right. Blind spot, signal is on. Moving across, turning quickly, moving the car slowly, straightening up as we get near the curb. Stopping before we touch the curb, into reverse, look up and down the road for traffic, through the back window, continue the manoeuvre, look over your right shoulder when you're halfway across, and start straightening, and stop just before the curb. Look left and right, no cars coming, again, be vigilant, be on the lookout for the cars, and continue the manoeuvre. And then we'll pick our spot on the left side to pull over. There's a vehicle coming against us, so we go slow, and we stop nicely here. Okay, alright, so we're going to move off again, So mirrors have been checked from left to right, signal is on, blind spot is checked, all clear, so we're moving away calmly. And we have our local cards, so we're just going to move out of their way, nice and calm. We're leaving Eaton Bray now, turning back left onto Orwell Road. We cannot see as we approach, so we're going to stop, go into first gear, keeping a tight position to the left, and then looking both ways and proceeding. Now we're turning left now, so middle and left mirror and signal left. And this is Braymore Park. Mount Carmel Hospital is on your right hand side just as you drive up here. So we keep an eye on the exit to the hospital for hazards. And we have two signs here. We have a dangerous left corner and dangerous left bend. So one is slightly contradictory to the other. So we're fine to stay in third gear as it is only a bend. And then we're approaching the traffic lights up here and we're turning right. So middle and right mirror signal right. This is Braymore Road. Tight to the white line on your positioning for the right turn. Now here, a filter light comes on before your main green light, and the road does not have adequate width to allow vehicles to move up your left side. So it's quite common for other vehicles that are turning left to get a little bit annoyed and to maybe sound their horn, but you must stay behind the stop line as long as it's only a left filter arrow. As we're turning right, we cannot move beyond that line. So you have to have the strength of character just to stay. The examiner won't mind. The examiner knows that you're following the rules. So don't get anxious. So as you can see, filter light is on, but the red light is lit, so we have to wait. Now, there could be a vehicle trying to come up our left side. At present there isn't, but they would struggle for room. So light's gone green, 3 mirrors. Look both sides as you enter the junction. Turning right onto Braymore Road. Now we're approaching a right-hand turn down here. Now this right-hand turn, it has a absolute change of lane to a right-hand lane. Now there is white markings down the centre of the road. They're called chevron lines and you're not allowed to enter them. So we're turning right at the lights, so this means we have to check our mirrors, signal right. Now additionally, when you're changing into a lane like this, we have to check our blind spot on our right shoulder. The light is green, there's nobody in the centre, so we move to the centre and we stop and wait for a gap. Look at the junction in all directions, check all roads. We're waiting for a gap. Now commonly a fault that happens here is no gap comes and the light goes to red. If the light goes to red when you're in the centre of the junction, you are entitled to complete your turn because you're in possession of the junction, as we call it. The junction cannot function unless you can clear the junction. So now we're clear to go. So don't feel bad if the light goes to red when you're in the middle. Just calmly and safely make your turn when safe. Move around the parked vehicle. Now sometimes the examiner will stop you along this small hill to do a hill start. So we're going to do that now in 1 second. So we're just going to pull over beside the curb on the left. So middle and left mirror and signal left. We're pulling in nicely beside the curb. Stopping nice and calmly. Handbrake, neutral, cancel signal. Now the examiner will generally say now they want you to move away on the hill, so you go to gear, look in your mirrors from left to right, signal. If it looks safe, check your blind spot, move away without rolling back. And continue. And we're turning left back onto Orwell Road. Mirrors have been checked, signal is on, take a good position, and we're stopping because there's vehicles coming from the right side. Keep looking both ways equally and proceed round the turn. Now, we're on the final part of the route. We just have to go up this hill. Again, this hill could be used for a hill start. So we'll just proceed straight up. When you go through the junction, the test centre is further up on the right hand side, which you'll see now. Check the junction, and we're turning right up here now. So just before the bus stop, so middle and right mirror, we're signalling right. Now we're going to move onto these markings to gain access to the turn. That's the only time you're allowed to move onto these markings. And we turn in, and the test centre is just in front of us here. And come in nice and slowly, and we'll just drive straight up the car park. And we'll just turn into our parking spot on the left. And that concludes the Rathgar route.